From multiple fashion weeks to interesting collaborations this month, we'll be talking about it in this video. Welcome to this segment where we call it What's Going On in the World of Fashion. Hi, my name is Rupanji Kumar and I welcome you to Renaissance Solocast. This video is divided into two different segments: the international news around fashion and the national news around fashion. So first we'll start with the international news. The very first fashion news is about the fashion weeks that's happening this month and particularly this week. So while we are recording this video, the New York Fashion Week has already started. It has started from September 11th and then we'll follow up with the London Fashion Week that will be starting from September 18th. Then we move on to Milan for the Milan Fashion Week, which will be starting from September 23rd. And then we move on to the fashion capital, which is Paris. The Paris Fashion Week starts from September 29th. I hope you'll like all the shows because it would be a month full packed of fashion and trends, because all the brand new designers would be coming up and bringing on some new great designs. I hope you'll like the event. I'll be watching the events too and I'll be sharing it on my Instagram page, so you could follow me there too. After discussing about the multiple fashion weeks, I think it's a need to discuss about the different creative directors who has joined multiple different fashion brands recently and will be presenting their very first collection in these fashion weeks that were discussed previously. So the very first designer and creative director that has joined the house of Dior is Jonathan Anderson. He's one of our favorites and I feel that he would be doing great in the world of Dior, because the recent menswear show that he presented was something to look upon. He would be presenting his women's wear collection in the month of October. And then we move on to Matthew Blazy, who has just joined Chanel as their creative director. He would also be presenting his collection on the same day as Jonathan Anderson would, so it would be an interesting day to watch the shows. The third designer that I feel is worth talking about is Pier Paolo Pacioli, who has just shifted from Valentino to Balenciaga. It's a great and huge shift because he would be succeeding Demna as the creative director of Balenciaga. Demna was a great designer for Balenciaga. He did great social experiments and people sort of liked the way Demna used his creative vision. Now, it would be interesting to see how Pier Paolo brings his color theory to Balenciaga, because the work that he did at Valentino was commendable too, because he was playing with multiple colors there. Talking about the history of Balenciaga, let's not forget that Demna has shifted to Gucci. Now, Gucci has been falling off since the last decade, and bringing on Demna is a huge risk to the brand because Demna is super experimental. It worked for Balenciaga, but let's see how it works for Gucci. We can definitely expect a lot of experimentation in Gucci because Demna has that sort of creative ideation. Let's see what he presents for Gucci this September, and it would be an interesting watch. The final designer that I want to talk about is Dario Vitali. He has joined Versace after Donatella Versace stepped down as the creative director of Versace. It would be interesting to see how he could bring up his talent and make Versace what Versace is and what it was when Donatella was there in Versace. So it would be an interesting week and month to watch the fashion shows, because it would be a turbulence of multiple different designer and multiple different interesting approaches to fashion. And now towards the end of the international news segment, हम बात करेंगे collaborations के बारे में जो इस हफ्ते हुई है and are important to talk about. So the very first collaboration has happened between two different major fashion brands, Yohji Yamamoto and Supreme. The collaboration in itself sounds really good and sounds really great, but there are only 3 segments which I personally liked. It was the experimentation with the hoodies, with the beanies and majorly with the skateboards. I feel you might be able to see that on the screen right now. And I feel these three items are something which could be having some sort of value in the resale market. Talking about the resale market, Supreme recently dropped its collaboration with Playboy Carti, and it was a comparatively successful collaboration for Supreme too. The second update is not exactly a collaboration, but is something which I felt is worth talking about. So, Levi's, after 120 years, has come up with a specific lineup which was super popular in the 1900s. So, Levi's has come up with a selvage denim lineup which they call the Japan 501s. This is a very specific type of series that Levi's has pushed for years, and selvage denim having its feature to be of a huge durability and great quality is something I feel that Levi's could capitalize on. That was it for the international news lineup, and now we will be discussing about the Indian fashion news. Starting the news with Levi's again. I feel Levi's is doing something great in India too. Diljit Dosanjh, our favorite Punjabi artist, is now the global face of Levi's. Levi's has made Diljit Dosanjh its global ambassador. This is a huge win for the fashion industry in India, because Diljit is super influential in India as well as outside India. So I feel this update in fashion could make some sort of waves in Indian fashion too. Now, the second news is about Almost Gods, one of the most creative Indian brands. They've collaborated with Fila for a capsule collection which would be out tomorrow, which is on September 12th. Looking into the teaser, I could very much see the inspiration is coming from some earthy tones. So let's see how the collection is. While this video gets edited, I feel I could put up some images of the collection on the screen so you guys can have a look into it and could purchase it if you want. And now moving on to the next news, Gully Labs, one of the most influential footwear brands in India, has come up with an official offline store which is located in New Delhi, and they have placed a big sized Gully Lab shoe outside their store, which looks really appealing to the public and could make a statement for the masses. Another Indian footwear brand that I feel we should put more emphasis on is Thailee. Thailee is an Indian sustainable brand which makes its shoes out of ocean waste. They have come up with a new lineup of sneakers called Tech Tabbies. They are available in 3 colors at a price point of around 3,500 rupees. They are available for pre-book, and I feel they are pretty good colors in the sneakers, and you guys can actually cop it because it's available for a great price. And as much as I have heard from the reviews, they are of great quality and you would be supporting the environment. So if you want, you can definitely cop it. Talking about the last and the final news of this segment, it's about the fashion week that India owns and India has. It's the Lakme Fashion Week, which is starting from October 8th. In the Lakme Fashion Week, we could expect new designers and most creative designers of India to showcase their collection, and it would be pretty interesting to watch. You can again follow me on Instagram to get those updates on how these shows follow up. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Please drop your comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon because that gets me the motivation to work again and again. Thank you for watching. We'll meet you on Wednesday with an underrated topic, and that would be pretty interesting to watch again. Thank you very much. See you next time.